Surtees mark represented, McLaren and Lola amongst many others. The Formula 5000's thunder down the front straight at Hampton Downs. An absolutely amazing lineup, an oversubscribed field for the racetrack with over 40 entries for the weekend. And so far the weekend has belonged to Kenny Smith. On board now with Steve Ross. He is the MSC Tasman Revival Series Championship leader after the first couple of rounds. Also recently the MSC Series, having raced out of Powerball Tools in Christchurch for the Lady Wigram Trophy, won by Roger Williams. There's the evergreen Kenny Smith, 68 years of age, 116 is Peter Dunn. Based in Monaco, the 1973 March 73. Steve Ross, 73 McRae, GM1. He stepped up from Class A in one of the smaller Class Lolas from the last couple of seasons. And he's been doing a very, very good job for the MSC Tasman Revival Series. Certainly the highlight class of the weekend here at Hampton Downs for the New Zealand Festival of Motor Racing, celebrating Bruce McLaren. There are a few McLarens out there as well as we look on board with Kenny Smith out underneath the rear wing. The ex-Teddy Paulette 76 Lola T430. Wonderful sounds from the 5-litre stock block, fuel-injected V8. So it's Kenny Smith leading the race, looking for 4 out of 4 for the weekend. So we're back on board with Steve Ross and he's slowing. Steve Ross is slowing down towards turn 6. Well, this could be incredibly important for the championship. He was leading the championship into round 3 here at Hampton Downs. Well, that is a big, big story here at Hampton Downs as Kenny Smith continues to lead. Looking to take advantage of what looks to be a DNF for Steve Ross. This is Daryl Taylor out of the UK. Taylor running the Chevron B28. He's running up inside the top 10. Aaron Burson's just in behind them in the bright blue McRae GM1. The 34 of Greg Thornton. Surtees TS11 going through. There's David Abbott. Certainly a man instrumental with the MSC Tasman Revival Series. He's battling there with the 30 of Ian Clements. So some dramas off track as 11 goes through. Bill Hemming from Australia in the Alpha MR8. As 64 retires to the pits, that's Marcus Pye driving Frank Lyons as 74 Lola T400. And we are getting to the end of a long weekend. 4 races for these race cars. And they're certainly at the stage of their lives, 35, 40 years old, where they can be a little bit fragile. Probably more so in the driveline department rather than engines. They do run a later model engine. As Kenny Smith continues to lead. Here's one of the McLarens going through. That'll be car number 20. Tim Rush, the McLaren M22. Won Class A in the MSC Tasman Revival Series last season. It's David Abbott working his way through some of the slower traffic. Down through turn number 3. Let's go pit side and catch up with Marcus Pye.
I think it's a half-shaft failure somewhere because I was flat in 4th gear up the hill, probably pulling 145, 150 miles an hour. Changed with about a change in a 5th, and the back end of the car just leapt to the left, and I was damn lucky to hang on to it.
It certainly sounds scary with these things.
Yeah, it's actually, and it's not mine. My one's at home in England. This is Frank Lyons' car. Very, very generously, Frank and Judy have lent it to me the weekend. I've had a ball, but I'm home safe. That's all that matters.
Oh, well, it's great to see you here as well.
Well, one of those things. It's we're loving the meeting. Hampton Downs is on the map now. Very proud to have been part of it.
Marcus Pye, of course, a very good motorsport journalist out of the UK. Here's Kenny Smith. 68 years of age, absolute legend of New Zealand motor racing. Not only is he racing in the Formula 5000s this season, he will be back on duty in the Toyota Racing Series as well, starting here at Hampton Downs. So he's already got some miles under his belt on this fabulous facility. Kenny works his way towards the infield, back on board underneath the rear wing. Rest of the field going through, 11 Bill Hemming in there. So lap traffic coming up for Kenny Smith. And he's had to contend with a fair bit of it with so many race cars on the track. A few of them had some issues. And one of those was Tony Richards in the number 23 Lola. And here he is with Roger Davis, pit side.
After a good run, what's happened?
The engine, just in the last lap or so, was a bit flat at the top end. Pressure's all right, temperature's all right, but yeah, we don't want to blow the engine.
Not worth the risk, is it?
Not worth the risk, and we had to change the magneto over lunchtime, and we may not have got that quite right, but didn't know, didn't want to risk it.
Fair luck, mate.
Never mind, that's motor racing.
So Kenny Smith negotiating lap traffic up ahead. Calvin Bonney in one of those cars. Again, heading towards the infield here at Hampton Downs. This is the run up the hill. Tight right-hander, and that heads in towards the hairpin that drops off down to the left. 39, Kerry McIntosh in the big FM2. Here's our now fourth place car, 81 Daryl Taylor. As Aaron Burson goes through on the big, and Burson now running in third as David Abbott retires from the race in the XL and Hamilton number 3 Lola T430. Kenny Smith still leads out of the big sweeping final right-hander up the hill past the apartments. Kenny Smith taking the last lap board. Now from this part of the track out of turn number 1, they head down to turn number 2. When the track gets extended to the full GP length, they will continue on. You can see the extension there. That will be the extension of the back straight to complete what will be a much longer racing circuit here at Hampton Downs. Stage 2 of this massive undertaking. You've got to put your hands together for Tony Roberts and Chris Watson. An absolutely amazing job to get this facility to the stage that it is now and capable of hosting this type of meeting with 30,000 people in attendance over the 3 days of racing from Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Car number 10, Bruce Leeson from the US, the 1969 McLaren M10B. He's up inside the top 10. He's been one of the regular runners in the MSC Tasman Revival Series here in New Zealand and Australia. But it's all Kenny Smith. After a tough start to the series, Smith dominates here at Hampton Downs, completing a wonderful weekend of racing across all of the classes in attendance. So Kenny Smith with the clean sweep for the weekend in Formula 5000, heading off Monaco's Peter Dunn, Auckland's Aaron Burson, then Daryl Taylor, Brett Willis, Greg Thornton, Ian Clements and Bruce Leeson.
You know, I was friends with Bruce McLaren, run his first Formula Austin Ulster back in the 60s that he raced, and it's a fitting tribute to come and do this. And this one's from my mother. Lost her.
Looks like right from the start, Ken, you got away, you got a really good start.
Yep. Yeah, I just sort of, it took 2 or 3 laps just to clear the car behind. We were carrying a lot of fuel. The car didn't feel that handsome on the fuel. And after about 5 or 6 laps, it narrowed down a bit, and then it was all right to just keep plugging on. It's a fantastic track. I mean, this would be the greatest track I've ever had a thrill on racing. Every lap, you want to do another lap.
Peter, it's certainly worth the trip coming down from Monaco, wasn't it? Second place.
Yeah, absolutely delighted. It was really good race. Sorry that it was a bit lonely for Kenny out at the front, but I just couldn't live with him. He's got a bit more ability, I think, than I have, and he did a terrific job.
Someone told me it was something like a world record, 37 5000 on a grid at one time, and it's a credit to Jim Barclay and everybody that came here, all the overseas guys and all that, and thanks to our sponsors getting them here. It's just been brilliant.
Well, it's been an amazing weekend. Steve Ross continues to lead after 3 rounds from Ian Clements. Kenny Smith now up to 3rd. Kerry McIntosh leads Class A.